Hello everyone, my name's Aaron, but you can call me Jimmy, and today we're going to be playing Dark Souls. For anyone who's unfamiliar with the game, Dark Souls is an action RPG created by From Software, and it's one of the most difficult games I've played recently. For this series, I'm going to try and present the game so that newer players can have a decent grasp of the scope of the game, and at the same time I'm going to try and limit the slower portions of a game that a newer player would have to deal with. This way, I can address not only the challenges that players face from boss fights, but also the challenges that players will have to face getting to those bosses in good enough shape to fight them. This style will also allow me to address additional topics when appropriate. And with that, let's get started. I have created a knight, and I'm going to be focusing on high strength and heavy armor. This was actually one of the first builds I attempted when I started playing Dark Souls. The decision to go with this build was based entirely on how I enjoy playing this game. So feel free in the start area to experiment, create as many new characters as you like, until you find that playstyle that you really do enjoy. As if you're playing a character that you enjoy playing, later on in the game when you start encountering difficulties, you'll be more likely to get up and try again rather than put the game down and walk away from it. With that being said, let's move on to some of the difficulties you'll likely encounter in this starter area here. This place is known as the Northern Undead Asylum, and it's a fairly straightforward level. Once you exit your cell, it's a straight hallway. You have those few free kills that it gives you right outside just to kind of get you used to how the swings work, what the pacing is of the game. And then you come up here to this first bonfire, which I'm going to light. Bonfires are the save points of this game. They are ways to mark your progress through any given area, and you'll respawn there every time you die. So after you light that first bonfire, go up to these big doors and open them. And you'll be greeted by this Asylum Demon. Now, if you start with the Black Fire Bombs or on New Game Plus, it is quite easy to take him down. However, for new players, I highly discourage that. As you saw, I only did 4 damage with that attack. I recommend escaping through that doorway in the back left of the boss chamber. This then takes us to the major loop of the level. So you start out by lighting this bonfire, then heading into that hallway around the corner up here. And in this hallway, in addition to a single hollow archer, you'll find your starting shield and weapon. In my case, I believe it's the Kite Tower shield and the broadsword. So go ahead and equip that new gear. You'll need it for the Silent Demon fight later on, and it makes all the fighting you'll have to do up to that point much, much easier. So go around this corner, kill the hollow at the top of the stairs, and then here I take advantage of the fact that he's an archer, has to take his time turning to gain that backstab and instant kill. So after him, you'll see this white light gate. Go ahead and go through it. These white gates are a way for the game to subtly tell you that there's going to be a shift in difficulty, so it's usually either a boss fight or a change in the type of mob that you'll be facing on the other side. So after that, go ahead and go up the stairs, be sure to dodge the rock, and then go into the chamber that the rock opened to talk to Oscar.
Oh, you. You're no hollow, hmm? Thank goodness. I'm done for, I'm afraid. I'll die soon, then lose my sanity. I wish to ask something of you. You and I were both undead. Hear me out, will you? Regrettably, I have failed, but perhaps you can keep the torch lit. There is an old saying in my family. Thou who art undead art chosen. And thine exodus from the undead asylum maketh pilgrimage to the land of ancient lords. When thou ringeth the bell of awakening, the fate of the undead thou shalt know. Well, now you know. And I can die with hope in my heart. Oh, one more thing. Here, take this. An Estus Oh, and this. Now I must bid farewell. I would hate to harm you after death. So go now, and thank you.
And yeah, that is a little bit of a dick move there to kill Oscar, but there is no actual storyline repercussions that I'm aware of in my playthroughs. So if you don't feel guilty about it, why not? It's a free 100 souls, and at the first level, that's not a bad gain. So this leads us back to our spiral upwards. There's going to be a few more hollows along the way. They fight back now, but there's still no real threat. So long as you don't panic and drop your guard at the wrong time, you should be fine. They should be fairly easy to take down, especially if you're paying attention to those floor signs, as they do tell you actually how to do all the special attacks, which I was just demonstrating there: the kick, the jump attack, and the power attack. And you'll see coming up here on my left, there's another fog gate. Now that gate actually does lead back to the Asylum Demon, and that is actually the end point for our loop here. There's one more hollow. This guy's a little bit more tough, but as you can see, parry and riposte, and he's quite easily disposed of. So now we're going to head through this White Fog Gate and actually fight the Asylum Demon. As you can see, they give you a nice platform to jump right off of and do a plunging attack, and that quite easily does a third of his health. The main thing in this fight is to keep an eye on his hammer and dodge when needed. If dodging is proving a little bit cumbersome for you, another way to handle it would be to stay out of range of the hammer until he makes one of the larger attacks, and then rush in and get a few hits in. And that's how most boss fights in this game are going to be playing out. Just keep an eye on their attacks and strike when it's opportune for you to strike. And with that, the Asylum Demon's quite easily beat. And at this point, I would recommend for new players to do that loop a couple more times, build up how many souls they have, because you do use souls to buy absolutely everything in this game. And as you can see, by the time I'm actually ready to leave the Undead Asylum, I have about 3,000 souls, and that's going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 levels, depending on what class you started as. And from here, you basically have a straight shot, and you're going to be in Lordrand, and you can use those souls to level up. So that's going to conclude this video. If you guys liked it, please like, favorite, share, and subscribe. I'll definitely have more of these coming out here in the near future. And I'm going to end this video with me actually leaving the Undead Asylum and leveling up. Thanks again for watching. See you next time.
Only in the ancient legends it is stated that one day an undead shall be chosen. To leave the Undead Asylum in pilgrimage to the land of the ancient lords. Lordrand.